And I don't want to send money to Africa anymore, but for a different reason. For me, I feel like I'm a hater, right? Every time I go to Africa, especially lately, the lifestyle that they're living there is just ridiculous. But these people are living their best life out there. Like, I go there, they go to the most expensive hair salons, they go to the most expensive nail salons. They're living large, okay?
Hey, lovely viewer. Welcome back to Comfort for Life. Glad to have you, amazing viewer. Collection of TikTok videos at Comfort for Life Network. We are here to educate ourselves on the things that are happening in our society with the aim to make it better. So in today's video, we'll be looking at this issue of Africans in the diaspora, those living in America and just overseas in other countries around the world. And this does not just apply to African, even the Mexicans who are suffering the same, where they have to constantly be sending money back home. So many people here were reacting and saying sending money to Africa. You know, Africa is just one. It's not one specific place. It's not a United States. So the different countries. So these are people who are sending back to money to their specific family members, and they are giving different reasons why they have to stop this. One of the reasons being ingratitude from the family members. They feel like they're funding their lives where they're sitting, building their lives, and them like they're funding them while they have nothing to do on their own. And I love the honesty of this girl who said, I just don't want to send money back home because I'm not enjoying the life that they're enjoying. I'm a hater. Yeah, it might feel bad when you're sending money for people to enjoy the kind of lifestyle you would want to live, but you are not getting it. You know, it's not just I don't have the money. She has the money, but she feels like I'm not enjoying the kind of lifestyle that I want to give to them. So enjoy the few stitches that I put across, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section. Are you living in the diaspora? Have you ever encountered such? Let's share.
I'm never sending money to Africa again. You guys had a lot of questions. In the video, I mentioned that when I got there, after like 20 years, I got there, I had to put gas in the car every single time I wanted to go somewhere. I had to give like $500 for me and my kids to eat because they asked me to contribute to that. If I wanted water, we had to pay for our own water. If they did something for us, we had to pay for it. Despite us like sending money over the years and helping and medical bills and so many things, people had questions. They were like, what the heck? I'm gonna answer something. So one of the questions was, how do they respond when you say you're not sending money or when you stop sending money? The same thing, like you a dunka, they meaning you're a cursed child. You're not gonna get no blessing, nothing good is ever gonna come to your life. Like you're mean, you're selfish. Watch, you know, you're gonna like you're gonna fail. Like misery is gonna come to you. Same stuff, which is normal. I mean, listen, that's normal. That makes me laugh. That's actually whatever. Someone else asked, maybe they really couldn't afford, you know, to feed you guys or whatever. Maybe that's why. No, I don't want to get too personal, but no, they can afford it because I know for sure they make $3,000 a month in that house. For sure, 100%. Is the fact living beyond your means because you have family in Europe and America and France and whatever. That's why you have to live a particular lifestyle. But otherwise, yes, they easily make $3,000 a month. They can afford to host us for 3 weeks without us having to give a dime. And you know, the audacity was that when I was leaving, right, they were like, oh, you're not gonna like leave us anything, you're not gonna give us anything. Like the day I was leaving with my suitcase and everything. And look, I have all this money, right? I put my money in my bag and I said, I'm taking it to the US. All this. These are $20 bills. I have all this money that I could have easily, like, if this thing would have never happened, I probably would have given it away to different people. Probably give everybody $100 a piece. But because of that, I was like, no. Look, the audacity to ask after all this. After, if you buy me water, I have to give your money back. If you buy my kids popsicle, I have to give your money back. And then when I'm leaving, you want to ask me, oh, you're not going to give us anything? You're not going to leave us anything? I took my thing. I still have it. I even forgot that I had it. I brought my money back with me. Hell no. And lastly, you know what? I really don't like to talk about stuff like this, right? Because I have 6 siblings. And I also feel like as much as I like to talk about things, I have to respect their privacy. But what triggered me was when I watched that young lady video of her saying she's not sending money back home and people were coming at her. And it just triggered me. That's one. Number two, You guys know I'm heavy on the Afghan, what's going on, like the soccer. And I wanted to go to Afghan. I only work 4 days a month here. I work PRN. And I already work my hours. So I have time off. I wanted to go to the Afghan. I told these people that I was coming, right? I wanted to watch the Afghan. I'm coming, right? And they're like, why would you come? Why? You can't just send us that money instead of wasting it to come watch the Afghan. And some people might be like, yeah, just, girl, I work. If I want to go watch the Afghan and make me happy, I should be able to do that. But it's like, why are you coming to watch the Afghan if you could just send us this money? I was like, because I want to watch the Afghan. That didn't work, right? And then it became, okay, well, if you come, we're not going to be able to pick you up from the airport because the car is broken. Unless you send us $1,000. Unless you send us $1,000 to fix the car so we could pick you up at the airport, we won't be able to pick you up. Yeah, the audacity. And like, and somebody else was like, well, why don't you have a conversation with them? Let me tell you something. In an African household, you don't talk back. You could be 50. You don't talk back. If you talk back or you defend yourself, it's basically like you're insulting them. It's basically like you basically beat them up at this point. So like defending yourself is not even worth it because it's going to become a fight. It's going to become like more problematic. So you just take it and just smile. I mean, that's just the way it is. So unfortunately, it's no like sitting down, talking about it, talking back. It's not even worth it. It's not even gonna click in. So with that being said, I'm really not gonna answer anything because I'm gonna be like a faucet spilling tea, and I'm gonna have to start walking around with bodyguards, which is not necessary. So
I was just watching Miss Angel's video about the reason why she's not sending money to Africa anymore. And I don't want to send money to Africa anymore, but for a different reason. For me, I feel like I'm a hater, right? Every time I go to Africa, especially lately, the lifestyle that they're living there is just ridiculous. So these people are the people that you basically feed, pay their rent, you know, when they get sick, you pay for that and all of those things. But these people are living their best life out there. Like, I go there, they go to the most expensive hair salons, they go to the most expensive nail salons. They're living large, okay? Like, they're out there drinking like juices all day. Mind you, it's not like in America where you buy juice and keep it in the refrigerator. You literally have to buy like the canned juice every time, and they're not cheap. For us, it might be cheap when you convert, but for them, it's not cheap. So that could rack up to like 1 day of worth of food for the whole family. They're going clubbing, buying shisha, like spending $15 on shisha. That's like $150,000 there, which is a lot of money there. So they're doing all of these things, living this, you know, glamorous lifestyle that you don't even have in America. And I just sit there and I look at them. I'm like, I'm the one funding like half of this lifestyle, and I don't even have this lifestyle. You know how when we're here, we're going, like sometimes you go through a rough patch or you're trying to save money for something. At least for me, when I'm trying to save money for something specific, or at times it's a little hard, I cut down on certain things, right? Like instead of getting my nails done every 2 weeks, for example, sometimes I won't even get my nails done at all, or I'll go like a month or two before I get my nails done again. Or, you know, like some expenses you can cut down on because of the situation. And then when you're fine, then you resume them. They don't know that. They just spend. They're like, oh, I need my nails done or I'm gonna die. I need my hair done, and not everybody can do my hair. This specific person, like, there is no compromise because they know the money is going to come. You see the mentality? So for me, it was about 8 years ago when I went there and I stayed longer. Then I realized, these people are not struggling. These people just need extra money to do all these glamorous things, to live large. I'm not living large, and I'm the one funding all of these expenses. So I made the decision that I'm not sending money to Africa anymore. So for me, it's like, unless you're really sick and I can see proof that you're sick, or something very urgent is happening, like literally something very urgent is happening, or it has to do with the children and things like that, then I will send the money. But just to send money and pay somebody's rent, or you know, like things like that, I don't do that anymore. No more sending money to Africa. And I kid you not, as soon as I made that decision and I started sticking to it, my life here changed. You know what I mean? And the whole time you're sitting there, oh, I need to look for baraka. I need to look for baraka. I feel like some things don't even have baraka in it. The baraka will stop with my mom and my dad, and the rest of the people can just, let's all work for our lifestyle. I want to have that lifestyle too. I just don't have somebody else paying for it. So let's all work for our own lifestyle.
Boy, do I have stories. I watched my mother send money back to her older brother in Jamaica for years. She was practically covering majority of his expenses. And the excuse was always, oh, things are so hard in Jamaica, there's not much opportunity, etc., etc. So when I was a teenager, I went to Jamaica for the first time and met this particular uncle. The first thing he said to me after finding out I was his sister's daughter was, wow, I heard your mom has gotten fat since moving to the States. Then he proceeded to ask 13-year-old me for $20. And I really think that's where my villain origin story began as it relates to sending money back home. Because first of all, this was an able-bodied man and he really could have worked. But I realized that the same people you're supporting will turn around and make jest of you behind your back. So if you want to send money, go for it. But this idea that you're obligated to send money back to people in your home country has got to stop.
Most of us are not going to be sending money back home the way our parents were doing, is because the way our parents were doing it was not sustainable. It's not wrong to have a need, but it is not practical to rely on somebody to fund your life. Now, I'll always say this, when it comes to education and like medical needs, I am more than willing to, finance a family member if my finances can accommodate it. When it comes to health and education, I can do it. Particularly education. Why? Because if I'm investing in somebody's education, I know that at a point they will be able to, support themselves and get a job. So the end goal is gonna help their own financial freedom. They're not gonna remain dependent on me for the rest of their life. But what is happening, and as we've seen from our parents, is that they keep sending money back home to people who are just waiting for our parents' money to be able to live life. That is just not appropriate. And let's think about it even critically. If you're to calculate the money that African parents have been sending back home versus the amount of money they're putting in their own children's education fund to go to college, yeah, crickets. There are certain things that just don't make sense. And I think that this generation of Africans, we're learning, or even immigrants, we're learning how to have boundaries. You cannot give somebody else life at the expense of your own. It's just not going to work. Basically, don't give a man a fish, teach him how to fish so he can be independent. And I think that's what the scary part is. The people receiving money back home are not interested in becoming financially independent. They are more excited at the prospect of having somebody fund their lifestyle. That is not healthy. And I think that us saying no is completely in our right, because again, you are having African parents sending thousands of dollars back home to family members, yet their own kids they don't even have a college fund for. Talk to any financial advisor and they're going to tell you that you don't have wisdom. You are financially illiterate by doing so. All in all, we are having boundaries, and that is going to annoy the people who want to be dependent on us, and that's not our problem.
When it comes to this topic, this is the issue that I think affects a lot of immigrant parents, African parents, whatever you want to call it. They all lack this simple principle of setting boundaries with people, even their family members. They literally have the hardest time saying no to people when they know they don't want to do shit. Now, I'm not saying that them sending money back home is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I commend them for doing that. But at a certain point, there's a certain boundary you have to set with these people, bro. You can't set this type of dynamic where you're making them expect you to send them money to live their whole lives, and then you're fucked years later because they're expecting that they're living off of you. And when you stop sending them money, this resentment from their side is gonna come to you. Then this money that you're not giving to your family back here, they're resenting you for it. So that's a double homicide. And this all stems from the fact that they can't say no to people.
So I woke up to the realization that I need to stop sending all of my money to Africa. And here's why. Number one, it doesn't help with the narrative that if you're in America, you're rich. If you're in America, life is comfortable, you have everything you need. Just a few days ago, I had 2 of my cousins reach out to me. I was like, oh, I need only $400. Only $400. And last year, I visited home. And to my surprise, almost all my uncles and aunties had houses. Okay, these are the same people when you speak to them over the phone, they're gonna tell you the economy is hard, there's no money, this, that, and the other, and every little problem. Like, I literally can't sit for a minute without somebody reaching out to me and asking for money. I'm talking about friends and family alike. And being the person that I am, all of my savings, I just give it out. Okay, and then I'm like, no, that's not a good thing. I need to start looking out for me. I need to start investing in myself, because as it stands right now, I don't even have property in my name. And here I am pouring out so much money into other people, and I'm like, will they do the same thing for me when I'm in need? And maybe there's going to be a time that they're not even going to be in a better position to assist me. And so this year moving forward is for me. I'm not saying I'm not going to help, but I would invest in myself, and I'll make sure that I am comfortable. Okay, even before I think about helping other people, I will make sure that I am equally comfortable and not just throw money around and have people think that, you know, hey, she's got money and she's just, you know, willing to spend. No, that's not what it is.
Wow, she's just mentioned something that reminds me of how my mom used to react whenever you ask her for money. It could be for school fees or just something that you're required to buy from school. And the whole time my mom was telling me, I'm going to borrow the money. So I used to feel so sorry for her. Like, why is that all the time she has to borrow money? I started small businesses. I was just selling stuff in school so that I can cover some of the expenses so that I don't need to bother her. Because all the time she was saying that she has to borrow money. So an African parent will never tell you that she has money, or never, mother, father, I don't know what about fathers, but most of the time it's my mom was telling me I need to borrow the money, and she will make you will wait, like you will wait for her to even be able to bring you the money. Even though she will go and withdraw the money from her account, she'll tell you that she has borrowed the money to cater for your expenses. So I'm glad you watched to this extent. If you're still watching, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Kindly, guys, don't forget to like the video for recommendation. We are back with exclusive content, back-to-back content, guys. Stay tuned at Comfort for Life for amazing content. We are going to have a great time together. Don't forget to leave me your thoughts, kindly. This does not just apply to people who are in the diaspora. If you just leave your country, like right now, for someone who just lives from one country to another, let me say for someone who lives maybe Nigeria to a country like Kenya, or to South Africa, or just from DRC maybe to Kenya, it becomes something else. They keep thinking that you are having money constantly, so sometimes you have to like go offline just disappear so that you don't have to receive those messages that will even stress you. Sometimes you wonder, am I really doing the right thing with my life? So because you feel like I'm not meeting the expectations, so you're not supposed to live to meet people's expectations after all. But yeah, enjoy your life and do the best you can, and do the things that should make you comfortable. That I would advise you, because it can be stressful. People constantly ask for money. Anyone who comes to your inbox needs money, and you're like, where do they think I'm getting money from? I would say you guys who are in the US or in other countries in the diaspora that are, let me say, developed, are better. Sometimes when you live from one African country to another, it's even hard to just get a hustle. Let me not say a job, a hustle. It's hard to get one. And people in your country think that you have money. You might be a student and they're thinking, oh, you are in the US, you are abroad, you are. So I'm like, we are in Africa. Africans have the same problem, guys. I don't have a job right here. You know, some people expect that you should be sending them money constantly. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That was it about this video, guys. Don't forget to leave your thoughts. I love interacting. Goodbye for now.